Hi, everyone. You're watching Build Series in New York City. I'm Laura Muraski with HuffPost. Really excited to introduce our next guest to the stage. Tiffani Thiessen rose to fame on the TV classics Saved by the Bell and Beverly Hills 90210. You also know her from White Collar and the new Netflix series Alexa and Katie. She joins us now to talk about her first cookbook, Pull Up a Chair. Here we are. We're pulling up a chair here. Yes. Please welcome Tiffani Thiessen.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. Thank you.
Thank you for coming to Builds. We're so excited to have you here on the eve of the book release, essentially.
Tomorrow morning's the big day.
How are you feeling?
I feel good.
Yeah?
You know, first day of the book tour. I could not be in a better city to kick off my tour, for sure. And yeah, October 2nd, tomorrow. It's pretty crazy. It's, you know, it's one of those things where you've put so much time and effort and it's finally here. You're like, oh my gosh, it's here.
Yeah, now what?
Now what, right?
Now it's on us to make the recipes and actually build and actually cook this, because I was taking a look at this and I was salivating just looking at the photos.
Thank you.
I'm gonna rush home.
That's the best compliment.
Yes, it made me hungry just looking at it.
Good, that's what it's supposed to do.
What I like about it is that it comes from your family recipes.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that and why you wanted that to shape the book?
Well, you know, family's a huge thing for me. The whole sentiment between, you know, what Pull Up a Chair really means is really about how I feel like I grew up doing family dinners every night. That's just how it was for me. And I feel like sometimes we're in such a busy time in our lives and, you know, everybody's working and, you know, it's hard with kids and school activities and homework and all that kind of stuff that sometimes the art of just having family dinner is kind of lost. But it's really important in our family, and it's not just about the food. It's really about creating memories and moments with the people that you love. It doesn't even have to be your family. It could be friends or whatever.
And someone like you who's so busy and has a family who's busy, I mean, how do you make sure you spend that time together?
Prep.
Yeah.
A lot of prep.
Okay.
And it's really making the time. It's really, truly making the time. I mean, you've got to eat, right? Sure. So, of course, you know, for us during the week, especially, you know, the weekends can be kind of crazy sometimes, but during the week, it's really nice for us to sit down, uncharge a little bit. We talk about our day. We talk about the good, like we try to say one thing that's really good about the day and one thing that we didn't like about the day. And maybe sometimes how to fix that for the next day, you know, or maybe there's a better way to look at it or something. So it's really just a place where all of us can really kind of bond, you know. It's not just kids, but it's like my husband as well talks, you know, and we talk about our stuff. And I think it's important for our kids to hear that we have stuff too that we like and dislike about the day, you know. And
these days with social media, with technology, I mean, it's even harder to get to that.
I feel like I see
authentic.
Tops of their heads more often than I do their eyes.
Yeah.
And that's also kind of a little bit about the book, about really just kind of putting all that aside and putting that down and really looking at somebody and connecting with them as you're stuffing your face, of course.
Of course. I mean, you gotta have that, right? But growing up, I think you talk about it in the book. You talk about how it was a very important thing for you to sit down with your family and how you know working.
Yes,
and
very much.
Can you talk a little bit about that and elaborate your experience growing up?
Yes, I mean, you know, my love of cooking came at a very young age. I was that little girl peering around the corner watching all the amazing women in my family, from my mother to my grandmother to my aunt, all cooking, having a blast, having fun, and I wanted to be that girl in there, you know, having those kind of moments with them as well. And so I learned at a very young age. And so it wasn't just holidays having dinners. It was really, you know, for us, the immediate family, it was every single day pretty much, like I was talking about. But then my love of cooking kind of went into a bigger direction as I started traveling and going to other places in the world. And really learning about different cuisines. And then as I got older and really kind of like entertaining with friends and then trying to find a husband, that was very helpful, and then now as a mother and really providing good meals and making memories too in the kitchen with my daughter loves to cook now. My son loves to do dishes, which is not a bad thing.
You got a little help. The helper's there.
Help,
is there a special recipe that's just your go-to when you know it's a crazy day and you're like, I just got to throw something together?
Most of the time I usually have pizza dough in the freezer, and if I can remember to just pull it out. Pizzas are really easy. The kids love to do it. They call it decorating their pizza. It's almost like, like in their mind, it's like artistic. That's a go-to for sure. Roasting, I mean, I usually have chicken, like roasting a good chicken. Like, my kids love that. But I'm a little type A, and I'm a planner. So I do meal plans on the weekends. We write out what we're going to do for the week so we can grocery shop and then we plan it out.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
so,
great. I mean,
yeah.
okay, what if you're not like that? Right? I mean, what if you're not a planner?
Yeah.
What advice do you have?
Look, I mean, the one thing about my book that I very much am very honest about, I'm not a chef. I don't consider myself a chef. I'm a home cook. I've self-taught either from watching my family or, learning about things and traveling and all that. So everything I feel like in my book, I feel like anybody can do.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Even a novice.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
Well, what if you don't have any confidence? Someone like me, I'm not great around the kitchen. My husband's the one who does a lot of the cooking.
But how do you get confidence? By doing it.
By doing it, right?
Correct.
So that's the.
You gotta I mean, if he's okay having you make a couple mistakes,
Yeah.
right? Like you gotta get in there and get dirty, literally.
Yeah. What have you ever had like a disastrous experience in the kitchen?
This is one. It could have been a disaster. My ovens broke. Like Thanksgiving Day.
Oh no.
Like Thanksgiving morning, I was needing to put in the turkey, all that kind of stuff, and I was like, okay, I need to feed my whole entire family, like aunts, uncles, everybody's coming over because now it's all about me doing Thanksgiving. And I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and so I remember my neighbors were out of town. And I was like, I think they have a house sitter over there. If not, I'm calling them and I'm gonna try and break in. I'm gonna use their ovens. And that's exactly what I did.
Amazing.
So I had to literally shuffle all my food back and forth from next door.
Wow.
Which is not an easy task.
Yeah, no, that's not. But at least you had that as a backup.
Because it was literally like all prep and then like taking it all the way over there and getting it done and then bringing it all the way back. Yeah.
That's amazing because you would have been doing takeout at
crazy.
that point otherwise.
I was
right?
burning calories though. It just made I could have more stuffing. So there you go.
I love it. What's it like to put something like this together? Because this, you've done cooking show, you've done, you're experienced around the kitchen, but putting a book together is a whole other ballgame.
And so much harder. I literally joke, and people are probably going to get sick of me saying this, but it's so true. I said, it's so bad. I literally feel like I've delivered a child with 4 hard corners. I mean, it was like so hard. But that being said, when that first book came, and I remember Instagramming about it because I literally got it. I was so overwhelmed. It was unreal to see like all that hard work. And granted, I of course want everybody to buy it and enjoy it, and I hope people love it because I did put so much love into it. But what I'm so excited about, probably more than anything, is that my kids get to have this like book of memories, besides the recipes, but all these beautiful pictures. Because one of my dear friends, shot the book, and I've known her for like 15 years. It's like a memory book, of so many things and stories and all that kind of stuff that I'm excited for them to kind of have that.
Right, because it's not like we don't have the book right here, but like you'll see.
It's right there.
It's all over the thing. But like as you pour through it, I mean, there are beautiful photos throughout it all, and you really tell your personal stories.
I do, and I feel like food is like that for a lot of people. Like some people, they say music's like that. It kind of evokes an emotion. Food is very much that place for me, for sure. Yeah.
Well, we talked about the go-to recipe when you're in a pinch, but what about one of your favorite all-time recipes?
That's like trying to choose a favorite child. That's impossible. I named a few of my recipes after some of my family members that, like my son loves the mac and cheese, so of course I had to name it after his. And then the short rib enchiladas is one of my husband's favorites, so I named that. My daughter loves the Pop-Tarts. I mean, my daughter probably would skip through all the chapters and go right to dessert. My son probably would too. But it's hard to choose. I mean, I think being an actor, the one thing that I also kind of translate a little bit with food is that, and I did this on the TV show I had, Dinner at Tiffani's, is that I love a good theme, and I think that's just the actor in me. So I like different things. I love different cuisines. I love cooking different stuff, and so it's hard for me to say one favorite thing because I love all food.
Yeah.
I really do.
I believe it. I mean, that's the thing. It's like looking through this book, there's just so much delicious stuff. And then you had some good cocktails in there as well.
I was like, gotta have a good cocktail.
Watermelon mint margarita or whatever it was. I was like,
good.
I'm on it.
So good. Yes, I know.
It's one of those things where it's like you just want to make it right now. So it's
I love it. Thank you. If I had a kitchen, I would.
Yeah, exactly. But you're also, throughout your life, you've also kind of become like a lifestyle sort of expert in this way.
Expert, I don't know about that,
insider.
but yeah.
You know, what kind of inside tips do you have if you're actually entertaining and you're having people over for dinner?
You know, a little tidbit that a lot of people don't know. So the very last chapter in the book wasn't meant to be a chapter. It ended up just kind of presenting itself like that because I wanted people to see that I believe in prepping. I believe in having a stress-free party if you can have it by making sure that you do prep ahead of time. So there's actually a whole entire chapter now based, you know, fully on just preparation. I give menu ideas for parties and things like that to make it a little easier. And that is my go-to thing. Like I'm telling you, the list and timelines are key.
Okay.
Key.
Prep and plan.
Yes.
And make those checklists.
Yes.
Okay. Halloween's around the corner, so
Yes,
so are the holidays.
I mean, really, when Halloween comes, it's like it's end of the year. It's like Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah,
because that's basically where we are.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, especially with
Don't you feel
two
that way when you
kids.
see the Halloween costumes come out
and
all the decor and all that. You're like, oh, it's Christmas.
It's already, but the Halloween stuff in New York City has been around for like at least a month and a half, right?
I will say
right?
October is one of my favorite months in the city.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Truly. Oh, the fall is my favorite for sure.
So, well, we're so glad that you are here while,
Yeah, me
while it's
too.
happening.
I know.
So, do your kids have a Halloween costume ideas yet?
Yes. So my youngest son, thanks to my husband, is Star Wars crazy. I don't think I've ever seen a little boy so crazy about Star Wars all of a sudden. So of course he's Darth Vader, and Mommy's like, "But don't you want to be on the good side?" You know, but he's all about Darth Vader, and so my husband's going to be a stormtrooper again, probably, or some, I don't know, I don't know what he's doing. So, and then my daughter was like, "Oh, so what do you want to?" We usually always go as a family. Like last year, we were. My kids were oatmeal raisin cookies, and I was the Sun-Maid raisin girl, and my husband was Quaker Oats.
Oh.
I was like, a theme, can you get it? Like, I like the theme, it works. So when they did Star Wars, I was like, well, what are we gonna be? Like Princess Leia and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, all right. And then Harper's like, no, I wanna be a panda. And I was like, okay, so do I be a zookeeper? So I actually found a really funny sloth costume with the big long arms. Kind of into it.
All right.
Kind of into it. So that's what I'm going to be.
All right. Hopefully we'll see that on Instagram or somewhere.
Oh, yeah, you will.
Okay.
You will.
Okay.
Totally. I got to show those arms off.
Yeah. Month away. All right. Switching gears a little bit. You're on a Netflix series.
Yes.
For people who don't know, catch us up on what this is about.
Yeah. It's called Alexa and Katie. I play a mother of two teenagers, which was hard to swallow. I have to say at first. But it's not a typical sitcom. It has a lot more heart, I think, being that there's a storyline in it that most people probably didn't realize at the beginning, but my daughter actually has cancer. So she is kind of dealing with many different things. One, being a teenager, two, embarking into high school, and then now also, of course, having to deal with cancer. And I think, and so anyways, and it's also, the storyline really is it's about the best friends. It's about her and her best friend and how they really lean on each other a lot. And it's this really beautiful relationship between two best friends, and it's very sweet. So I play the mother of Alexa. Okay, yeah. And we were just not nominated for an Emmy. We lost a big bird, but that's okay.
Next year.
Right? Exactly.
Oh man, but you're filming the second season, or you filmed it? You just finished filming.
Season. It should be coming out next month.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
what can we expect season 2?
Oh gosh, I think she's finished her treatment. Okay. So it's really kind of all that stuff that happens right after. Okay. And still very sitcom humor. She really, I think, fights a lot of this with definite humor and with her relationships, with her family and her friends.
At this point in your career, what are you looking for in a role?
Oh gosh. You know what? It's so funny. I just want to work with nice people. I really don't even care about that anymore. Isn't that funny?
No,
is that horrible to say that?
I think it makes sense. Absolutely.
I just want to work with nice people.
That's how I feel with my job too.
Yeah, and I've been really fortunate in the last shows that I've been on that I've been able to say that. I mean, I have to say, most of my career I can really say that. I've really been very lucky to work with some great people. But it's all about, like, to me, I'm like, if I'm going to be taken away from my kids, I better be working with some people that are nice, because if they're not, it's not going to be fun. You know, so that's kind of what I care about. And it's nice to, like, of course, do a role that you have fun with and you're challenged and you're artistic and all those things. And it was great that we got Emmy. I wasn't even expecting that. You know, we got nominated for an Emmy and all those things. But the simplest terms, I just want to work with people I like.
Yeah, yeah.
You
well,
know?
it's icing on the cake, the Emmy nomination.
Yeah,
Everything
I guess so.
else
Yeah,
is like
totally,
just,
totally.
you know, whatever.
Yeah,
And
for
fitting it into
sure.
your schedule, I think, is probably, you know, part of what you want to do too. With your kids and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you have kids. They're 7 and 2?
8 and 3.
8 and 3, okay.
8 and 3
yeah,
now.
it's kind of,
I know.
it's crazy. I mean, at 8 years old, I mean, you grew up in the spotlight, and you didn't have a normal life. I mean,
and it was right around like 9. Yeah. Like, I look at that, I look at her, and I'm like, oh gosh, thank God she's not asking. Thank God she's not asking. Not that we wouldn't support it. I just don't know if we would do it now. But I just want her to go to school, and you know, she loves school. She really does. She has no interest. She actually hates being on camera half the time. Okay. Yeah, she really does. And I'm okay with that. Yeah. It's totally okay. And unless mommy wants a picture, and then it's like, come on, please, just smile.
That's all kids.
Yeah, I know, right? No, my son is a ham.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like I can't even tell you how many pictures I have of my son that did not make that book because he was like hamming it up 24/7. Amazing. It was so funny how different your kids can be.
Yeah. The pictures in there are really nice, so at least you got a few that are actually usable.
I did. I'm like, you want to eat that Pop-Tart? You better smile.
And you're going to be in my book. Come on. Do they think like what you do is cool, though?
You know, my daughter for the longest time didn't really look at me as an actress because since she was little, I've been cooking, and then I had a cooking show and all that since she was little, and then with the cookbook and all that. So she used to call me a cooker. So my mommy's cooker. But now with Alexa and Katie, she's a huge fan of the show.
Oh, that's great.
And because it's a family show, and so she watches it. So she, it's a whole different ballgame for her. It's really cute. She loves it. Of course, I'm nothing compared to the 2 girls on the show. Yeah. So Paris walks around. It's like a whole, mommy who? Mommy who? You know, it's all about Paris.
I love it. Well, you know, a lot of us got to know you, of course, from Saved by the Bell. And just last month, the NBC head had said he wants to put together a reboot of sorts. I know. And you probably hear this all the time.
I do.
And obviously you guys reunited a few years back with Fallon. But what do you think it would actually take to get the cast back together for a legit reboot?
A lot.
Yeah. Right?
A lot. I mean, a lot.
Because you're all doing so many different things.
Yeah, I mean, legally I can't.
Yeah.
I'm on another show.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. What would you imagine?
Not that I would. I'm just saying. I mean, legally I can't even do it. So.
But what would you imagine something like that looking like at this point?
God.
How many years later?
I don't even know where to begin. My mind is not wrapped around that at all.
Yeah. It's
wheelchairs and no, I'm kidding.
That's like 30 years from now.
Right. I have no idea.
At least, I mean, that show, the type of show that still like resonates today. That's beyond just the
look,
generation.
I'm all about nostalgia, and I have shows that make that have that same feeling for me. So I totally get it. It's, you know, and I still talk to some of them. You know, like they were a huge part of my life, and I do not discredit that whatsoever. I just know, like, probably about half of us probably would
not be able to.
Not be able to. Let's
right?
say that.
There you go. Not be able to get on board.
Yes.
It's hard it's a lot of work, you know. And as you know, being on a Netflix show, I'm sure it's just like grueling days and hours.
Yeah,
and
it can
everything.
be. It can be.
You know?
I mean, the sitcom world is a little bit better than single camera. The hours aren't as long. It's just every day.
Yeah.
Where a single camera, you'll have an off day, which is kind of nice. So, you know, it's apples and oranges.
At what point, I mean, you were so young, at what point did you think, like, this is what I want to do? This is like, I want to be an actress.
I don't know if I ever really thought that. That's what's so crazy. It's like, you know, when I was little, I thought I'd be a dancer, and then I thought I'd be a teacher, and it was my uncle. He was a photographer, but he was an actor himself, and you know, he would always take pictures of us kids all the time. And I think the story from what I've heard is that he passed on photos of me to a friend of his that was an agent, and she was like, would she ever do commercials and all that? And so that's just kind of how it started.
Yeah.
It wasn't something, I was so young, like I wasn't something that I thought I would do. I just loved it. I like got bit by the bug, as they say you have. and loved every second of it. So
Rest is history.
I guess, yeah.
To bring it back to the book,
Yeah.
I know this was a little bit of a labor of love for you. Do you imagine?
Hurtful labor, but yes. No, I'm kidding. No, it was a total labor of love. No, it really was.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
And do you imagine another book in your future?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I've thought about it already.
Okay.
I have another book actually coming out next year, a children's book with my husband.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Okay. That's cool. I feel like the...
Totally different thing, though.
Okay, what can we expect with that book?
It's called You're Missing It.
Okay.
It's very timely right now. I think it comes from a very true place in our house. And my husband was very honest about it. My husband's an artist and an illustrator, so he, of course, illustrated the whole entire book. But I remember I was like doing dishes or cooking or something, and you know, he was swinging and all that kind of stuff. And he, you know, we do it. We get on our phones. He's kind of scrolling, and I remember yelling out, "Get off your phone! You're missing it!" And he's like, "What? You know, and it was a conversation that just started happening with us about how we really need to pick our times to do what we want to do, which is scroll on Instagram or check our emails or do whatever we need to do, because our kids are like, they grow so fast, and we miss those little moments that we think maybe aren't big moments, but to them, they're big moments. And so the book is really about how this little boy and this dad, they're going along to the park, and it's actually taking place here in New York. And he starts to see things that are big in his eyes, but the daddy doesn't think it's that big. And he keeps telling him, you're missing it, until those things really kind of almost come in and knock him and be like, you're missing it. And so it's it might make you cry.
That's really sweet. And it actually kind of goes back to what we talked about at the beginning about like pulling up a chair and actually sitting down with your family.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
We really, I think we're in a place right now where we're connected to these, you know, electrical things, and we're missing the connection with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're out of our time, but we have some questions from the crowd.
Okay.
So let's
of course.
get to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hi, hello.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you?
Good, and you?
Good. Really good.
I wanted to know from your book, what was the most difficult recipe for you to prepare?
Oh, wow. That's a good one. Oh my gosh. Let me think. Okay. You know, none of them are really so much difficult, I would say, because there are a lot of these recipes, and I mean, every recipe is really, some I've been doing since I was little, and some I've been doing for years. I'm trying to think of one that was really hard. It was probably, I remember there's actually, you know what was hard? It's not so much the recipe, it's actually the shot. So like if you go in there and some of these shots of like me like holding like the peanut butter ball up, you know what I mean? With like the dripping, it was like, okay, try to get the drip. All right, ready, hurry, you know, and like it was like that kind of stuff that was more difficult than anything, not so much making the food. I hope that sort of answered your question.
It did.
I just don't think my food's very difficult, you know? It was just getting that beauty shot that was probably the most difficult. Yeah.
Totally imagine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for that question. The money shot, right?
The money shot,
All right, who's next? Right here with the book.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Christian. My question is, what would you recommend me for a family dinner on the weekend? On the weekend.
Gosh, family. I always say pizzas are definitely fun, which I've mentioned, because I feel like the whole family can get involved. But some of the family recipes that resonates more memories for me are like, you know, the turkey meatloaf and mashed potatoes, or like the spiced pork and like that, you know, sun-dried tomato and fennel dressing, which is a dressing, you know, stuffing that I used to do literally when, you know, every holiday. Like I've been doing it for years. I mean, those to me, I wanted this book to be really where the food makes you feel like you're getting a big hug, and I feel like most of that is like that, and that's all about family, you know?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And by the way, loved the show Saved by the Bell. I grew up.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Christian. Thank you.
Thanks for that question. We have time for one more question.
Hi.
Hello. I just wanted to ask you, I love to cook as well, and my go-to rule is to add butter to everything.
I kind of agree with that, girl.
Awesome.
I do. I totally agree with that.
I was going to ask you if you
Yeah,
had
no, I'm a
anything
total butter
like that.
person. Yeah,
Okay,
I was like,
great.
when I started hearing all these people like keto and all that, they were like, butter. I'm like, I've been doing that for years. Yeah, I love butter. My husband would say bacon. I would say butter.
Ooh, okay. Awesome. Well, I'm glad I got it approved by you. So now I
Yes,
don't feel like bad.
for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for that question. Thank you so much for coming by today. You're taking this on the road. You're going out and signing books, right?
I am. I'm going to be in Jersey tomorrow night, and then I'll be in Tribeca right here on Wednesday night. So
All
please
right.
come if you guys are around. Yeah.
And the book is called Pull Up a Chair, and it comes out tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning.
Give it up
Yeah,
one
or
more
I guess
time.
at midnight, really.
Yeah, tonight.
Right? Yeah, you're right.
One more time, Tiffani Thiessen.